Oh my gosh!
I think this has been the most disturbing of the movie for me.
Hi guys, we are nice. I'm Ray.
I'm Julien.
I'm Michael.
Guys, we are reacting to a movie that's another classic.
Okay.
All right. Now, this movie came out in 1971 by a famous director known as Stanley Kubrick.
Okay.
And I believe some people are saying, if not the world is saying, that this is his masterpiece.
Okay.
All right. Now, I've known about this movie for quite some time, and I've tried to avoid this movie for quite some time because it's supposed to be a really disturbing movie.
Okay.
Okay? And because of that, and there's few still shots that I've seen, I'm like, ugh, do I really want to see this? Do I really want to see this? So, I'm facing my fears.
Okay.
And because I have you guys next to me, two strong fellas who can hold me if I need to be held for this movie, we will be watching A Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange.
A Clockwork Orange. I don't really know much about this movie, to be honest with you, other than the fact that it's disturbing. But I do know that in it comes from a book. A book was written, and then the movie was adapted after the book, and then the book won a Hugo Award. You know, Hugo Awards are awards for literary work for science fiction and fantasy. But it's a dystopian time. I guess it's science fiction. I didn't really know it was science fiction. But it is in the top 100 movies of all time. In the AFI's top 100 movies ever made. All right, so it's not that far behind. I wonder what it was in the top 25 or top 50 and whatnot. But the thing is, the fact that it's held in such high regards, this movie is pretty big. Okay, came out again in 1971. I've never seen this movie. I guess you guys, like you told me earlier, you never heard of this movie.
What's this movie?
So we're gonna check out today a rated R movie, A Clockwork Orange, a movie I've tried to avoid for years, and here I am facing it at the tender age of 49. Let's check this out.
Reminds you of Willy Wonka.
Right? He forgot to put on the fake eyelashes on the other eye.
Which is what we were drinking.
Is that a drug?
This would sharpen you up and make you ready for a bit of the old ultra-violence.
I'm waiting for them to break out in song.
After drinking a bottle and a half, I'm surprised he's even saying anything.
Do you still feel safe between two young men?
No, not anymore. They worked him over, didn't they? So if there's no law,
Doesn't look like it.
it seems like everybody's just running rampant and just whatever happens, happens.
Thou globby bottle of cheap, stinking chip oil!
I'm trying to think if these guys are a gang. What? Oh, Jesus!
What the hell?
Oof.
Dude! Yo, I'm gonna fight like that from now on.
Just drop kick right with both legs?
Dude!
Oh.
This seems fun.
Fun? That don't look like fun to me.
There's so many props being used in this scene, by the way.
This is
scene
a great
alone
fight scene.
was about probably 10,000 with the amount of things broken.
Look at this shot. I don't know if they're really driving or this is just really good use of a screen.
I think that's really good use of a screen.
Oh my god. I thought they were going to run him over.
I thought it was going to take the top off on those guys that are sitting in the back.
But these guys are out of control. But they're high, right? He thought they took some type of medicine, some drink.
That milk thing.
I'm sorry, but we don't usually let strangers in.
Oof. Dear Lord.
From the place.
Dude, this is horrifying to think about something like this actually happening.
I'm just trying to make sense of their motives for all this.
That is disturbing.
That's what I'm saying. Quite disturbing. These guys are just on a wilding night.
So we got rid of the auto and stopped off at the Corova for a nightcap.
That's the milk that he's drinking? The imagery of this movie, it's...
What did you do that for?
For being a bastard with no manners. Not a duke of an idea how to comport yourself public-wise, oh my brother.
Do you think this is like... the words they're using here is supposed to be like the slang of the time?
Yes.
This is
Like the
weird.
words, I'm like trying to catch up what he's trying to say. I don't know if these are actual words that are used in England, or this I play on the fact that this is dystopian universe, and this is how they communicate.
This is so odd.
What's weirder is though that we all understood it even without.
Yeah. I have perfect comprehension of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do chop chop, you know what I mean? Yeah, we gotta go chop chop real quick.
do
you know?
what he do. Okay, I got it. But the movie is definitely playing a lot on visuals, like the colors, the art itself. Very sexual though, even with the models, the thing he was drinking milk out of, almost everything that's being put up on every piece of art you see.
I'm wondering if this is like an ode to just the moral degeneracy being the leading factor to civilization downfall.
Alex!
What do you want?
It's past 8, Alex. You don't want to be late for school, son.
This guy goes to school.
Alec, boy, awake at last, yes? I met your mother on the way to work, yes? She gave me the key.
Yes.
I was saying.
Anything wrong, sir?
Wrong? Why should you think of anything being wrong? Have you been doing something you shouldn't, yes? There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Community who wants to save you from yourself.
Jesus, who is this man to him?
I don't know.
A corrections officer.
That's what he is.
Yeah, by the looks of it. That's what
That's
he
what I
said.
was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
He said corrections advisor, so like
So his
something
mom
like
gave him the key.
yeah.
You know what the thing is? That there's something very jovial about him, at the same time frightening, with what we see him do.
Mm-hmm. Titties!
I guess Beethoven's really a hit over there.
Apparently.
Tonight we pull a man-sized crest.
Tonight's a man-sized crest, eh?
This might be where they get caught then.
As we walked along the flat block marina, I was calm on the outside, but
That's how Ray put us all together.
This is our origin story.
This is our origin story.
Ouch. Go ahead, say it.
The costumes, like white's usually a purity. I'm wondering if it's like a yin and yang thing with the top hats and the white costumes.
It could be. But I don't think they're balanced at all.
That's my point.
I think they're like gone in terms of evilness.
Well, I'm wondering if this is his childlike innocence, if that's what the costume's trying to depict. And because it's being a theme, him having this like juvenile disposition.
I had not cut into any of Dim's main cables. So, with the help of a clean tash tub, the red groovy soon stopped.
I'm thinking it's more like a nephew to the norm in society. If you look at everybody else around you, they stick out the most. And they seem to be attacking the rich at night.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So maybe that's something as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like a common day Robin Hood in his mind?
Yeah, but they're not giving anything to the poor.
Yeah.
Oh.
He draws inspiration from art, so was there like an...
Come on, let's go. The police are coming. One minute, Zoogie.
I knew that was going to happen.
You are now a murderer, little Alex.
He did kill her. He killed her.
You must be a great disappointment to you, son.
God.
What the fuck?
He was holding that in for a couple years.
Yep.
Got a feeling the jail's not going to be fun
Too
for him.
friendly, right?
Nah, yeah, I got a feeling.
Yeah. Like,
for everything he's done, he's
like
gonna be
the
paying
human
for it.
rights go out of this window, right?
Oof.
1 o'clock, Thames, distant. 1 from Thames, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, this movie doesn't feel like that from 1973, right? You said
71.
71.
No, it
feel like
doesn't.
It was brand new.
And at first, like, there was no sense of him like he was a school kid. But when he's around everybody else, he looks a lot younger.
Mm-hmm.
Murder, sir.
Right. Take the cuffs off him, mister.
Looks a bit like Mick Jagger, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He does. Very
Yeah.
much so.
I can see it.
Are you able to see the white line painted on the floor directly behind you? 655-321.
Listen, whatever bad happens to him, he's deserved it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. Lord have mercy.
Anybody ill or disease? No, sir. Crabs? No, sir. Lice? No, sir. Through there for the bar. Yes, sir. Open the bar.
He did that with no gloves on, by the way.
He enjoyed that, it looked like.
Crowning with thorns. And I could video myself helping in and even taking charge of the toll-chocking and the nailing in.
So he's a sadist.
Oh, that's obvious.
But, like, he vilifies himself to
But
be
maybe
one.
he's like, yeah, and reading those parts in the Bible.
And getting onto the bed with their wives' handmaidens. That kept me going.
He likes all the evil parts and the bad parts of the Bible.
Yep.
So there's definitely no reform for him.
No, definitely not.
No.
And the weird thing is he sees it as pure, almost.
Yeah, he's fine with it. Which is, we're going on a journey of a psychopath.
Yeah.
I've never been guilty of any institutional infraction, have I, Father?
You certainly have not 655-321.
About this new treatment that gets you out of prison in no time at all.
I take it you are referring to the Ludovico technique.
Lobotomy?
I don't know. An experimental.
I only know I want to be good.
Do you guys think that that was genuine?
It may be. He's been there for 2 years.
For me, it seemed like he was being deceitful. He just wants to get out of there to be able
It
to...
could be. He definitely, I mean, who wants to be locked up in there?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, I guess after he's talked about the Bible a little bit, he's not really changed.
Yeah.
Excellent. He's enterprising, aggressive, outgoing, young, bold, vicious.
Prime Minister material.
Bye-bye.
So they're gonna use him for the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Alcott. Very good, sir.
I just imagine the staff is tired of him. Like
Probably.
They goes down again. Overdoing it as always.
Roll over on your right side, please. Loosen your pajama pants and pull them halfway down.
Is that a suppository?
No, the shot in the butt cheek.
Listen, I don't know how this how far gone this dystopian is.
Treatment here going to be then?
We're just going to show you some films.
She scares me.
She does.
And
Oh
many
my
films.
Is that a straight jacket?
Mm-hmm.
I was bound up in a straitjacket.
Holy cow.
That's real, by the way. That's in the eye.
Yeah, that's happening. I've seen this still shot before.
If I was to be a free young...
I wasn't thinking we were going to see them actually putting it on him.
With much in the meantime, oh my brothers.
Oh my god, dude, this guy who's putting it on him, I wonder how many takes it took to get this number.
Listen, they had to get an old 50s doctor to do it.
You could slooshy the screams and moans, very realistic. And you could even get the heavy breathing and panting of the tall-jockey Malchicks at the same time.
The costumes are similar to the ones in the initial.
I was beginning to get very aware of, like, not feeling all that well.
My eyes are killing me.
Very soon now, the drug will cause the subject to experience a death-like paralysis, together with deep feelings of terror and helplessness.
It was Ludwig van. 9th Symphony, 4th Movement.
God, it's killing me.
I've learned my lesson, sir. I see now what I've never seen before. It's wrong because everybody has the right to live and be happy without being told, chopped and knifed.
No, boy. You really must leave it to us. But be cheerful about it.
First of all, superb acting on his part. To be acting with that much emotion, with those things in his eyes.
Those things are really in his eyes.
It's. What are they putting on his eyes? Is that actual water or what is that?
I don't know about you two, but my eyes burn.
I'm in pain.
Getting that.
And I couldn't stop watching.
Yeah, yeah. It was a morbid fascination.
At this stage, we introduce the subject himself. He
Tap
is,
dance.
as you will perceive, fit and well nourished. He comes straight from a night's sleep and a good breakfast, undrugged. Our party promised to restore law and order, and to make the streets safe again for the ordinary peace-loving citizen.
So is this for political reasons?
I guess so.
But enough of words. Actions speak louder than action now. Observe all.
Yeah, but he's just standing there. How can you prove that?
Give him a gun.
Well, you must think I'm awfully stupid.
Why did you do that, brother? I've never done wrong to you.
You want to know why I did that? Well, you see. I do this, and that, and this.
They conditioned him.
Is it that you? Well, I want you to lick it. Lick it.
Pushed out his red Yazik 1.5 miles to lick the Grasny Vonny boots. And turned the like joy of battle into a feeling I was going to snuff it.
Oh my gosh!
I think this has been the most disturbing of the movie for me.
Well, could it be the society wants you to lick their boots? So the chemical is like reacting to his reaction. It's stifling. It's killing that urge.
Mm-hmm.
He gets sick every time. Like when he was on the floor, it looked like he wanted to strike back. And when he wanted to strike back, instead of striking back, he just got sick. It's like having a shock collar internally.
Yeah.
The boy has no real choice.
Correct.
Has he? Self-interest. The fear of physical pain drove him to that grotesque act of self-abasement. Its insincerity was clearly to be seen. He ceases to be a wrongdoer.
We're not concerned with motives, with a higher ethics. We are concerned only with cutting down crime.
Oh, it's almost scary now. Think about it. It's frightening.
Yeah, they literally took away freedom of his
Free
freedom.
will.
His freedom in total.
I'm back. It's good to see you back.
Why didn't you let us know what was happening, son?
Sorry, Em. I wanted it to be like a big surprise for you and P.
The pictures are a lot more modest. Have you noticed that? The paint, the art?
He don't see, or either that, or maybe he again corrupt him in his own mind.
Yeah.
That's Joe. He lives here now.
Renting out his room. Oh boy.
You're back to make life a misery for your lovely parents once more, is that it? Well, over my dead corpse you will, because you see they've let me be more like a son to them than like a lodger.
Was the milk alcohol? Was that what that milk was?
I think it was some type
So
of
it's a
drug.
drug, yeah.
Because they mentioned like a chemical earlier.
Hmm.
Do you think he might take that and counteract that?
Maybe.
It made me real sick, a lot of it did.
But it's killing me that he's wearing a belt over a sweater.
He's been wearing a belt over a sweater. I haven't even been noticing. I've just been looking at the bad haircut he has. A mullet thing. I don't even know what that is.
Should we feel bad for him?
That's the question,
like
right?
saying,
It's like a moral question, like what?
Yes, no, I mean, it's a horrible situation, but he deserved it.
Thanks, brother.
Did you recognize him? Is he the guy they beat up in the alleyway?
This is the poisonous young swine that near turned me in. Back away! All away with you! What's the trouble, sir? Oh, no!
That's his friend?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, what a turn of events this was.
A job for two who are now of job age. The police.
What on earth?
That seems like the worst turn of events for him.
Yeah, really.
Jesus.
It's getting worse and worse for him.
Literally.
He was better off in jail.
Are they about to frame him for something too?
Or beat him up?
Don't call me dim no more either. Officer called me.
How is he like retching so much? Like, what did he take to?
I think he wants to fight back right now. He's... Golly. So these guys can continue on their madness as cops. He's been there for quite some time now. They might have drowned him in real life.
Being held helpless like a babe in arms, and suddenly realizing where he was.
The police beat me up, sir.
He recognized him.
Remember the voice? The voice.
Isn't it your picture in the newspapers? Didn't I see you on the video this morning? Cold and shivering. Julian, draw a bath for this young...
I am very uncomfortable.
Julian. So he recognized him from the paper and the news, but did he recognize him as the guy who attacked them? Okay, oh boy.
Maybe?
I think this guy's sick too. He knows. He knows what the medicine does to him. So he could hurt him.
Maybe?
The way he's acting just now?
Yeah.
It looks like...
There's a
that's how it
turning
came
point
to
here.
him.
There's a turning point here of some sort.
This young boy is a living witness to these diabolical proposals. The people, the common people, must know, must see.
Oh. If he helps him to overcome this, to get back his freedom, he might go back to his killing ways. Oh boy, he was singing this.
Yeah. Has he realized it?
He definitely has.
The doctor said it was pneumonia because it happened some months later during a flu epidemic. The doctors told me it was pneumonia, but I knew what it was.
I can't see much in the future. And I feel that any second something terrible is going to happen to me.
You did get poisoned. Well, he survived it.
How are you?
You feeling better?
I kept having this dream. And like all these doctors were playing around with me Gulliver. You know, like the inside of my brain. I seem to have this dream over and over again. Do you think it means anything?
I can tell you with all sincerity that I and the government of which I'm a member are deeply sorry about this, my boy. Deeply sorry. We tried to... but also because you are helping us.
Helping you, sir.
We always help our friends, don't we?
I was cured, all right.
Golly, guys. Guys, that was A Clockwork Orange.
That was an interesting movie, man.
I'm gonna say off the bat though that I really did enjoy this movie because this movie, I must say, this movie was excellent. You know, this movie was absolutely different than anything I've ever seen before, for sure. But you knew what was going on in the beginning. Not so much because it focused mostly on his and his crew's crazy violence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was thinking, wow, is the whole movie gonna be like this? In the beginning, it's gonna be just them being crazy. Because again, I knew this movie was a bit disturbing, and I knew that for a while, and I wasn't sure exactly what. And I remember seeing the like a still like with eyes when I. So my thought was that he's killing and torturing people throughout the whole movie. I did not think it was gonna be what it turned out to be. About again, dystopian world where this guy is doing crime and there's politics in the background. And the idea of controlling people, their free will, through the use of whatever that was, you know, either a combination of the drugs, the experiment, whatever they were doing the experiment, but it was to control people. And ultimately, to control people for political reasons. You know, now they could have deemed anyone, they could have deemed anyone a criminal or probably a political prison. They probably wanted to do the same thing in a political prison. If you didn't like their views, they'll lock you up and do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
Make you into a robot. And I'm wondering if this is supposed to be, or this is anyway, a commentary on society. Of what we're living with and us being, people being conforming to the way things are. You know, are we just those tools? And at the end, you saw that he still ended up being a tool for propaganda.
Yeah.
You know? But apart from the story itself, before we delve deeper into it, I want to say I love this guy's performance.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was amazing throughout this movie. And matter of fact, I don't think this movie would have been any good without him. No one else could have played this role.
Definitely not.
I can't imagine anybody else playing the role he played. I mentioned before that the idea was eyes being open and acting through that scene itself with the constant drops. Even towards the end, where I'm almost sure he drowned.
Yeah.
You know, because he was there for quite some time. But what do you think about? What do you think about any part of it? Go ahead, speak. I don't want to.
Ladies first.
I liked it. I mean, it was interesting for sure. I loved my biggest thing that I thought the language behind it. That was really good.
Yeah,
like it felt this like you said, it felt like a dystopian world, but I feel like they really embodied that throughout the whole movie with the scenery, the language, the way, the demeanor of people, everything. Every bit was like, okay, this is crazy. This is a crazy nut house. And then the turn of like make it into, you know, that type. I don't even know if I can call it that type of movie because there's not really a type of this movie.
No,
like
definitely unique.
It's a unique. I think it was a masterpiece. Hands down a masterpiece. The way everything was done and set up. I don't think I would have placed one piece in a different spot. I loved it. I loved every single bit about it. I was in it. I mean, y'all can tell. Y'all gonna see from my reaction. I was looking at everything.
You were wired.
Like, and it's weird because like when you watch these type of movies, you don't know what emotion to have afterwards. Like of course I enjoyed the movie. There's also some sort of guilt that comes with these type of movies. Like, man, I enjoyed this really gruesome movie, but it's an expression of art that is so profound that you really can't put words to it. Like, it was an expression of art. That's what I would call this movie. This was an expression of art, of really good directing, and to just putting a project together and putting the pieces together to something that was so well put forward. Honestly.
For me, there's a lot to this movie. There's a lot. I definitely enjoyed it. Usually with movies, I find like at least a quarter to halfway through, I know where it's going and kind of the angle that it's taking. I was clueless throughout the whole movie. Like, I understood I guess, the general concept. But outside of that, I basically could not predict anything that was going to happen.
You were on the ride. You were taking the ride.
I was taking the ride. It was amazing. I loved it. The acting, phenomenal on all ends. Like, I really felt like the politician was a politician. I felt like that the officer, that over-the-top one, really was what he was, like a hardened prison officer. It didn't feel like I was watching a movie. I felt like I was genuinely around the surroundings watching what's happening to Alex. And throughout the whole thing of, like, seeing the world through his eyes from the start, where everything is colorful, everything's fun, there's this childlike innocence, into that slow descent into adulthood being just dull. Everything's, like, everything's basically these different tones of color. I don't know how to explain the sets exactly, but you know what I'm getting at, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And it really felt like this was a modern-day Da Vinci's Perfect Human. Like, it explains how stages of life and our mentality that we kind of go through in a very gruesome and extreme way.
It was all extreme.
Yes.
But there was still, like, the story could have still been told. This story could have been told in a way where it was not extreme. But I don't think it would have been as interesting as it ended up being.
Definitely would not have the same impact. Definitely would not. But yeah, that's basically where I'm sitting at. I definitely loved the use of music as symbolism, along with the use of the surrounding art, as well as the character's interest in said art, making it kind of like this great play on each other that complement each other. That's the word I was looking for.
You know what I liked to put on that what you just said. What I liked of the characters and how they use the characters, right? There was always extremes, but you could always see the different stages of human emotion throughout the whole point, right? You had, for example, the priest. The priest was like, I'm in genuine faith, like trying to help you. At least
virtuous.
Yeah. And then you had the one who's, like you said, like hardened. Then you have the person who's trying to fight some battles or really just going like a dualistic approach and doesn't really know where to go, which I would consider the mother, because the mother's like, I love him, but
she was crying for him.
She was right. Yeah, and then you want the one who's disconnected as a parent, which is the father. Then you have there's the different personalities throughout this whole movie. I don't think one character was the same. Like, there's not one character I can go that they could take that other person's spot. Like and of course it comes with the extremities as well. You know, the politician, I would consider one of them to be extreme. Like, I really just want this one goal. You know. But it was really, really good use of what human emotions, of what, like, just different personalities of a human is supposed to do, you know? And then we have the main character, which is, even though he's flawed, he still has the human tendencies that we're supposed to have, you know? And it's like, oh man, where is this really going? Like, it just, I think this was like you said, an extreme expression of what the stages of life is supposed to be like, or not supposed to be like, well, what a human feels like at points. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so. I just loved it. I just loved everything. Honestly, it was so good.
Well, I have a question, and it'll make you think here. My question to you is this: this was based off a book that won the Hugo Award. What about this movie made it sci-fi or fantasy, for that matter? You know, because what we know as sci-fi and fantasy, this is out of the box.
Yes.
Right? So what will make this, why would this get an award, a Hugo Award for science fiction and fantasy?
I think the dystopian aspect of it, and it probably at this time was pretty advanced at that point. You know, like, there's definitely some things that, like, for example, there's some technology here that was advanced at that point. So maybe being it futuristic, again, I keep saying at that point because there has to be reference points to where it actually came from, right? Yeah. So I don't know how old the book is either. I don't know if it was made in 1971. It was probably made a lot longer before that. But then to use these type of sceneries and like this futuristic view, that's probably what made it a Hugo Award at that given reference point. Now looking at it, we were like, oh, this is just regular human life and regular human things that happen in terms of the technology at that current time. Like, okay, this already, like, this is a kind of already existed. But 1971, I don't know if you had all that, you know? Like, especially the use of medicine, the use of the architecture throughout the whole movie. seem like they wanted to make it futuristic.
Right.
There was probably some things that we probably missed out on that we thought that they thought were futuristic at that point, which we thought like, oh, that's just like probably the car being one of them. Like, that's just a regular car. You know,
that's a Corvette.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm more in the of the thought that this is maybe very little science fiction as much as more fantasy, in the sense that. Like we were like this medicine itself, this particular experiment, which is probably the only thing I think that may be the science fiction and the fantasy part, will be the experiment itself. That here we have this one medicine that controls your thoughts, that controls your emotions, and it's probably the only thing that will allow to let you do that. Will be, and then I said science fiction and fantasy together. That you have bad thoughts, you get sick. You want to have violence, sex, you get sick. You're going to have sex, you get sick. Like, but the fact that it's controlled, though, and moving to the point that it's going to be government control doing this to you.
Yeah.
So that element, I think the only part, not like, definitely not a Star Trek type of thing.
You know what I also, I'm just thinking about, just even like, now going back into it, I would definitely say 100% is science fiction. Right, because like the essence of it, like I think science fiction. Right? Somebody says sci-fi, I'm thinking Star Wars, I'm thinking, Star Trek. But this was really a fiction that has science in it, and that was driven by it. I mean, if we really think about
it's like the dictionary terminology.
It's like the dictionary terminology of what sci-fi is, which is like the use of science throughout the whole actual like movie and picture, and what it portrayed and what it did in that current flick. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would now going back to it now that you said that, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is 100% a science. It's just I think I'm so used to thinking, Star Wars.
We're used to
sci-fi has to be some alien has to come down,
right?
So like, for sure, 100%.
This movie, I think to really understand will need more than one viewing.
Yes,
that probably watching a second or third time,
or watching it with a group.
Like we're gonna see more. Of the movie that I missed that. That makes sense. I have a feeling that watching it multiple times would definitely bring that out. But geez, as a first impressions, I thought this movie was amazing. Absolutely, I don't think I've ever seen a movie like this. I can see now why it was definitely in the AFI's top 100 movies. Matter of fact, I even say this is very essential because nowadays you would see movies that copy the style of like the color schemes, the director photography, these shots that were given,
right?
These extreme looks,
the characters.
I don't know if this is new. Like maybe this is the first movie that did this type of extreme and used color the way it's used color, used the shots the way it used color, and definitely some disturbing and shocking scenes. Like there were some scenes that were like. Wow, that disturbing. And it wasn't, I didn't find the crime scenes as disturbing as the other scenes. Like the other scenes were more disturbing than the actual crimes themselves.
I would start it off, it was just disturbing. It was these guys just sitting there, just smiling.
Yeah, but it was then the use of colors, the way the camera rolled back and revealed slowly how bigger.
So the cinematography was. What you're talking about?
So the cinematography definitely was definitely amazing.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the characters.
Right off that, from the get go, you kind of felt like we are watching a work of art here. Like this is the thought of getting these shots out, and I wonder if I should get this book because I want to know if this movie is. True to the book itself, or did it deviate? I mean, I'm sure it deviated a little bit, you know.
Massive, yeah.
But again,
the publishing date for the book was 1962, by the way.
1962.
Yeah.
This is what 9 years afterwards.
Yeah, it's
definitely you consider this, even if like the sci-fi aspect of being futuristic, you definitely consider it this movie.
It's like a little bit after the high time of like asylums and whatnot, or during the high time, kind of. In that transitional phase of it, so you could definitely see it as like people trying to control them with lobotomies and everything. Which I wonder if that's where they got the name for the medical facility that
from this name itself.
Yeah,
I think that lobotomy has been going on for a long time. Even like...
no, I meant like reverse it. That if they got the name of it from the lobotomy.
Got you.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you though, this is not the first movie we've seen from the 70s the 70s seemed to be like a golden era of movies.
Yeah.
Like every time we watch a movie from the 70s, it's been fantastic. You know, it hasn't been like any bombs that we've seen. And they've almost all of them been different.
Yeah,
like,
very.
Like, really? That came out in the 70s? That came out in the 70s?
It feels new.
Like, if you watch a 90s movie, you know the 90s movie.
Yeah.
You know an 80s movie. You watch a 70s movie, and it's almost like a pocket of time that the movies were just great.
The golden age.
You know? And it was just like, this is happening. Like, this came out in the 70s? This is a 70s movie? And you almost don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know, it has its own, like if I put this movie on now, you wouldn't know it's from the 70s. Right? If we put on, we saw Fletch. You knew that was 80s. I mean,
yeah.
It's not fair to compare Fletch in this movie.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you can see these movies here. In the 70s, we got, look, this movie came out, right? Star Wars came out.
Right.
As well. Aliens came out.
Planet of the Apes was 70s, right?
The Godfather.
Yeah. Godfather?
You know, Planet of the Apes was the 60s.
Oh, okay, but close.
Jaws came out.
Yeah,
as well.
Jaws.
Like, if you think about it, these movies that came out in the 70s.
He was born.
You know, yeah, I was born in 73. But the thing is that it seems to be like, as I'm watching, it's like, 70s must have just really been great to go to the movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, to get up, go get what one were you going to watch? We're going to watch Clockwork Orange. Wow, that changed my life. You know, I'm going to go watch The Godfather. That just changed my life. You know,
I wonder what movies. I wonder what movies was playing right alongside this in the theaters. Like, could you imagine seeing this in the movie, and then right after there's like Star Wars or something like that, just at the same viewing? I would immediately go back.
Star Wars came out what 70?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know. Don't even ask.
I think 77. Later, it was later on 70.
But
I do wonder what if this movie was nominated for movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Was he nominated for actor? What other movies were up against him? And which one? Because I'm sure the list is probably like, oh, wow. Who will win that? You know?
Yeah.
This is probably top of the line stuff. So, guys, if you were watching movies in the 70s, you got to let us know because we are flawed with the quality of movies that seem to have come out in the 70s. For real.
Good.
No jokes aside.
Very, very
you know,
good.
and this coming out in 71, right off the bat, early 70s. Like, just setting the bar. Yep, guys,
Really
this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing.
Was Total Recall 70s?
Huh?
Total Recall? Was that 70s?
That's 90s.
90s?
Guys, if you like what we're doing, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, we do appreciate that. It helps out with the algorithm. Share our information. We'll get to a bigger crowd. Let them know how well we're doing. We would like to know if you did see this movie in the theater or if you saw it anytime, what do you think about this movie? The acting, the story. Did we miss something? Are we not getting the full picture?
There was something
glaring. Let us know. Maybe we might be all off. I don't think we're all off. But, you know, what do you think about this particular film? If you read the book, you definitely know about the book itself. The main actor whose name it's fleeting me at this moment. I'll put it right there. And maybe. And, you know, if you know of other 70s movies that you think are masterpieces of the time, come on, feel free to let us know what movies those are. Make it, suggest a couple, and there's a good chance that we'll be watching it anytime soon. Well, anyway, if you'd like to see our reaction to this movie unedited, you're going to find it on our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You will see this and a bunch of other shows and movies that we have on our Patreon. We also have a merchandise store, which you will find the link in the description as well. You're going to help us out with that. Guys, listen. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're R Nights. I'm Ray.
I'm Julian.
I'm Michael.
Guys, we'll see you soon. Take care.
Stay safe, everyone.
Peace.